Well, hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we're live on a Friday evening, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with life. And that's where I do some cooking up with leftovers in the kitchen. And also, we're doing a little bit of a follow-up on the soaps and wraps, wax wraps that we were making a couple of weeks ago. And I just wanted to follow up on that because both of them I did a bit more work on and practice a bit more, and I'm getting there, and it's quite exciting. So I wanted to update you on that. All right, so tonight we're going to be making a lemony type spaghetti. And this is inspired by something that Jody sent to me a couple of weeks ago. And I said, oh, that sounds so good. We got to try that. So I thought we would do that. So all I've got is some spaghetti because I've got too much spaghetti in the house, trying to use up stuff that I put in the larder over the pandemic time. So I've got some spaghetti. I've got some ricotta cheese over there, some lemon zest. I've got some freshly cut herbs from my herb garden, some peas that I need to use up because I accidentally bought 4 big bags when I really meant to get one. So this is definitely a cleanup. I've also got a little bit of brie cheese left over, and I probably will huck that in as well, just so I can use it up. I've also got some of my homemade breadcrumbs. These I've been sun drying in my window here. So we're going to be using some of those as well. And some of my sun-dried tomatoes that we also did in the window there. So, and by the way, they are so nice to have just as a snack. Tastes really good. And it's so funny how sweet they are when, you haven't added anything to them. Okay, so there we go. I think that's all. Breadcrumbs. I've also cooked some chicken up because that'll be the final meal. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you how I cook my spaghetti for one person. I don't want to choke, so eating and chewing and talking, not a good combination. Before I forget, in here I've got green grapes, pineapple, a little bit of mint, a little bit of lemon balm, lemon juice, so good, and obviously a lot of ice. So we're going to start off by, do you remember how much pasta for one person? Anybody remember that? Because that's the important thing. And by the way, there she is. I was just going to say, if Jody's late, there's a reason for it. Well done, Jody. So how much pasta per person do you think? Can you remember? It's not a... I'm talking dry pasta, so, all right. A pound. Well done. So, Jody, can you convert what I'm about to say into ounces for me? All right, so it should be... Oh, let me do this. Can you see this? No. Yes, you can. I've zeroed this out with the mason jar on it. It says that I can have anywhere from 60 to 100 grams. Jody, I'm not sure what that is in America. Oh, I can tell you. Hold on. Okay, so I've got 51 grams. I can tell you what that is in pounds and ounces. That would be basically 2 ounces. Now, I don't need more than that, so why would I cook more than that, right? That's how I have changed recently. So all I'm going to do is to take that. This is just... Oh, I lost a bit there. I'm going to add a bit. I lost a bit. Here we go. I added 2 bits. Right, I'm just going to take a squirt of oil, put it in there, and then just need it to be below the lid level. There we go. Okay, this is how I make pasta for one. Okay, so yeah, about 2 ounces. That's what I thought. So there it is. I can add a little bit more water to that. And just this water is, I've put some chicken seasoning in it. What do you call it? Chicken stock. Okay. And all I'm going to do is to let that cook while we chat. The squidge is your favorite unit. Yeah, I know. It's mine too. So I've put it in the air fryer, just with the lid of the mason jar, not the turny bit, just the lid, at 350 for 20 minutes. And I will probably pull it out at about 15 if I remember. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding the peas to it at about, Jody, I would think 10 minutes from now, we'll add the peas in. Okay. And in the meantime, the herbs I've got are chives from my garden. Hang on, did I tell you this already? Mint from my garden, a little bit of a celery leaf, and there's some parsley from the garden, and also, it's disappeared, had some lemon balm in there. Oh yeah, there it is, hiding. Okay, so I've got these fancy little scissors, and I'm just going to chop that into the peas. So that when we add the peas, we will also add the herbs. But I think I will keep the chives and the celery back. And we'll put that in with the ricotta. Okay, now, Jody, here is the thing. If I remember correctly, most of these herbs are what I call anti-inflammatory things. And that's why I'm trying to teach myself to cook and eat many more herbs than I've been eating, and fresh ones that I'm growing. In fact, what I do is I've got a whole lot of them growing out on my deck, and I just bring in what I call a little amount of them, and I just keep them in front of me. So as I do things, I remember to put them in. And this is just where I'm prepping here by the stove. I've got more. And this is a twofold thing. Number one, I've got the aroma of mint and lemon balm. So good. But also, it's to remind me to keep using it, right? And also to put it into my smoothies. So very good. No problems with that at all. So far, so pretty, yes. And you know something? It's actually really nice to have roses and mint together. They actually go together really beautifully. I forgot to get roses in today. I'm sorry. All right, now what I've also done here is I've roasted some breadcrumbs. In other words, I just took the dry breadcrumbs and squidged it, with a little bit of oil. And now I'm going to mix, I'm going to mix in the sun-dried tomato. And that will be our topping over the spaghetti. We'll add a little bit of salt and pepper to that. Pepper, very good for you. Please overdo the pepper. Jody, good for our metabolism, good for something else as well. So I have a mixture of black, white, and red pepper all together. And I buy it in bulk and then grind it up as I need it. Okay, so that looks really nice. That's a mixture of breadcrumbs, sun-dried tomatoes, and pepper. Yum. Gonna put those in. How are we doing for time? Got plenty of time there. All right. So let's start with the ricotta cheese thing. Now, we won't need too much, right, because we're just cooking for one. So I'm thinking that will be more than enough. And into there, we're going to put some herbs, the celery, yep. And we're going to put in the, what did I do with the lemon zest? There we go. I did some lemon zest earlier. And about 2 good tablespoons of lemon juice. 1, 2. You like the way I carefully measured that? And mix that all up. So really what I'm doing is just making a paste with the cheese. Bet that tastes good too. I think I'm going to add a bit of pepper into there as well. That tastes good. Okay. Now, if you are a garlic person, obviously add garlic. I unfortunately am allergic to garlic, or I have an intolerance to it. So what we're going to do is when the spaghetti is ready, we're going to then drop it into there and mix it all up and then cover it up. And then we've got somewhere to put it all in. That sounds good. And keep it warm while we do the next bit. Now I've also got some chunks of brie that I was going to add in there. So I've still got a portion that I can eat for myself. Who else am I going to eat for? Okay, and I just want to put a couple of the edges. Jody taught me this one. Okay, I'm just going to crumble up some of the brie in there. Yum. And what I do is I allow myself one thing of brie a month, and I sort of use it up little bit by little bit each week. And then if I haven't used it all up, I freeze it. All right, so we're going to put that in. That'll be nice. So this is where you now got ricotta and brie cheese. Put these away. Oh, and then we're going to put the chives in there as well. Love the way this is one of those things where you wonder, would you ever use it? My question is, how did I ever cut up herbs before I had them? Yeah, because it just does such a good job. Yep. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm actually going to reverse the situation. Yes, Jodie's reminding me that these herbs are not only anti-inflammatory, but they're also anti-microbial. And so, it's if you possibly can, keep adding more and more herbs to your diet. I am actually quite surprised how well I'm doing. I actually look forward to adding them now. And when I made this, you can see I automatically throw in some mint into this, which really adds to the taste, of course. Okay. And we're going to need that for a little bit of decoration. We're going to need that to add it in. I just want to put the rest away so we can start talking the other bits. I thought I'd ask those of you who are in the room, or those of you who may watch on the replay, whether any of you are noticing that the cost of groceries is going up even more than during the pandemic, that suddenly we are getting an even bigger increase in the cost of food. And therefore, finding creative ways to use up your leftovers really important. And to buy when things are on sale. Try not to buy 4 bags of peas if you live on your own. However, what I did do, there was a special on some chicken this week. So I did buy 3 chicken breasts, and mostly because that's pure protein. And I'm going to do everything I can to eat those chicken breasts up without them going near the freezer. In other words, I want to have them as little protein bites and so forth. So I've cooked them. I'm going to cut them up. And then what I would like to do is to be able to just get through that chicken sort of whenever I feel like I need have chicken and tomato or chicken and something. Just keep having that protein. Jody's saying, yes, the prices are out of control. That's what I think. I need to add some water in here. Opening up's become a major problem, apparently. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me show you now what I've been up to while that food cooks. It's been about 15 minutes. Yes, I did put the peas in. Thank you, Jody. Feeling hungry now. All right, so for those of you who were with me last week when we did the reps, we were starting thinking ideas for Christmas presents. I really struggled with them. I don't mind telling you. And then during the week, I thought, you just have to find a better way that works for you. And I did. And so now, so exciting. I've now made quite a set here. And some of them are sort of this size. And what I did was I turned the corner over so that they don't stick together. You can get them apart easily. So this is the size that would go over something like this. And the heat of your hand will just mold them into place. So you don't need to use plastic. Okay? The only thing, if you do make them or if you get any, please remember, don't put them near raw food, all right? The reason is you can wash them, but only with cold water and a little bit of soap. Obviously, you don't want to get hot water near that, otherwise the wax will melt. And when you've done with it, you just rinse it under the tap and then just pull it back into shape, okay, like this, and let it air dry, and it's ready to use again. How many of you going, that's quite cool? So I made these, and I also made a couple of round ones, because now, of course, now that I know what I'm doing, now I can play. So that also would go over there. And then, because it was the system I'm using is working, I've now started making bigger ones, like this. And I cannot tell you how I didn't think I'd ever be able to make one this big, but there it is. So, very excited about that. And how many of you would like to use less one-use plastic? Now, of course, the next thing is to train myself to use them. So these are the beginning ones. And so what I'm going to do is to actually start being really aware of not using. I actually don't use a lot of plastic anymore. I must admit, I have a lot of these sort of things as well. Um, but I try not to use that one-use plastic stuff. I do use press and seal for certain things, I must admit, which is why I want to try and make the bigger one so I can use it to cover my bread dough or something like that. All right, now let me think. What else have I got here? We've got a couple more minutes to go. It's just how many of you remember all the troubles I had with that air fryer when I first got it? And now I just wonder how I'd live. I don't want to know how I did without it, quite honestly. Uh, the other thing I was talking about recently was that I bought myself a dozen black face cloths to use instead of using paper towels. And boy, was that a good investment. I definitely have to tell you that it is well worth it. However, do buy good quality ones. The ones I bought, I don't know if you can see, but you can sort of almost see through them. They weren't the best quality. And I found that out when I washed them the first time. They went over everything. So make sure you buy good quality, which I didn't for some reason. All right, now the next thing the big experiment. I'm so in love with this. I made lavender mint soap. This is what's in there, lavender and mint. I wish you could smell it. It is just so cool. But what I wanted to show you is, wait. This is going to be left out in the open air, not in the open air, in the house, just to dry for about 2 months. Okay, which is why I started so early. But what I found out is that to bevel the corners, you just take a potato peeler. There you go. Oh, helps if you do the bottom, so. I could peel it all away, couldn't I? Anyway, so basically, then you end up with, I want to tell you guys, I could just smell this and be happy. I'm definitely thinking about putting a hole through it and hanging it. as a room freshener. Now, I'm not going to throw those little bits away because this is all perfectly good soap. Can you see that there? The bits that like the shavings. I'm going to keep that, and I'll probably add them as decoration on one or not. What I did was I was playing around this week, and this is I was, I got a new mold that I wanted to see what it would look like. And so this isn't that cute? So the top of this is shea butter and the bottom is beeswax at the moment. I'm going to be, was it fun to make? I cannot tell you, I really am enjoying it. And I'm learning a lot about it. This is a combination that I don't want to have as a soap. I just didn't want to waste it. And I wanted to keep it, clean. You know what I mean? So what I did is I poured it all into a mold, and now I will grind that down and use it again. Does that make sense? And the same, I will do the same, I'll add this in and just grind it all up and then use it. So definitely the next thing that you're going to be seeing is how do we wrap it, and how do we wrap the wraps, right? Because that's all going to be part of the process. And you remember the heart-shaped one, the white one that we made? I gave the other one, the sparkly one, away, but the heart-shaped one, I've been using that, and it doesn't have any essential oils in it. It doesn't have any aroma. It just is soap. And I've been using it to wash my hair. I've been using it for everything. And I want to tell you, love it. It has a nice lather to it, not overly so, but nice. You know what I mean? Just enough. My skin feels awesome. So anyway, very happy. Oops. Ooh, that was hot. Excellent. So that's just al dente, just what I want. I'm going to mix in the cheese. Oh, that's good, isn't it? And then I'm just going to top it with the breadcrumbs and sun-dried tomatoes. and pepper. I want to tell you. Oh, and some garnish. Okay. And there you have my dinner. And I don't know about you, but that wasn't too difficult. How did we do in time? Ah, are you joking? That is amazing. So in half an hour, we cooked dinner. Is that possible? In half an hour, we cooked dinner and we did the updates on the soap. I'm getting good at this. All right. Any questions? That's amazing to me. I thought it would take me longer, but I guess I did do a couple of things ahead of time. I did, um, brown the breadcrumbs in oil, toasted them in oil, a little bit of oil. So I did that beforehand, but that was about all. So not bad. So if you're looking for a quick meal, and who doesn't love Getty? And please notice that is actually enough for 2 helpings. I probably will put some of it away. I would think 1.5 anyway. And all I did was 50 grams, Jody, if I remember correctly, not 60. So I'm learning to cook with less. And if you notice, I cook it in the mason jar because then I can't put too much in there. Does that make sense to everybody? The whole reason I cook the pastas in a mason jar is it's the portion control, exactly. If I put it into a saucepan, I would have had twice that much spaghetti. I'm going to go and eat my dinner. This is DearMamaSal saying I hope that was fun for you. And I look forward to updating you on the... Didn't you think that was clever with the... Hi, wait, Lionel. Didn't you think that was clever with the potato peeler to do the edges of the soap? I was quite happy when I found that. Now my next research is what wrappings do I want to learn about? Because I've got to do that. This is DearMamaSal saying enjoy your lemon spaghetti dinner. And I'm going to have mine probably with some bits of chicken. And I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for your help, Jody.